Good morning. Let's begin our service by singing hymn number 237. Oh, may we be still and seek him, seek with consecration whole, listening thus to hear the message, far from sense and hid in soul. Hymn number 237. The scriptural this morning will be given by Carol from New Jersey.
Isaiah. Keep silence before me, O islands, and let the people renew their strength. Let them come near. Then let them speak. Let us come near together to judgment. Who raised up the righteous man from the east, called him to his foot, gave the nations before him, and made him rule over kings? I, the Lord, the first and with the last, I am he. The isles saw it and feared. The ends of the earth were afraid, drew near, and came. They helped everyone his neighbor, and everyone said to his brother, "Be of good courage." When the poor and needy seek water, and there is none, and their tongue faileth for thirst, I, the Lord, will hear them. I, the God of Israel, will not forsake them. I will open rivers in high places, and fountains in the midst of the valleys. I will make the wilderness a pool of water, and the dry land springs of water. For I, the Lord thy God, will hold thy right hand, saying unto thee, Fear not, I will help thee.
We will now have a moment of silent prayer and then follow with the Lord's Prayer and its spiritual interpretation as given in the Christian Science textbook. Our Father, which art in heaven, our Father, Mother, God, all harmonious, hallowed be thy name. Adorable One, thy kingdom come. Thy kingdom is come. Thou art ever present. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Enable us to know, as in heaven, so on earth, God is omnipotent, supreme. Give us this day our daily bread. Give us grace for today. Feed the famished affections. And forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And love is reflected in love. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. And God leadeth us not into temptation, but delivereth us from sin, disease, and death. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. For God is infinite, all power, all life, truth, love, over all and all. Let us now sing hymn number 64. From sense to soul my pathway lies before me, from mist and shadow into truth's clear day. The dawn of all things real is breaking o'er me. My heart is singing, I have found the way. Hymn number 64. Welcome to the Sunday morning service of the Plainfield Christian Science Church Independent. We have members and participants from around the world. You can find us on our website, plainfieldcs.com. You can also find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, Facebook, and Twitter. Our website has articles that will help you in virtually any situation you could find yourself. If you're getting a little dismayed at the news today, there's an article by Martha Wilcox entitled Remedy for World Problems that is featured on our cover page of our website. It's short, it's to the point, and I found it very helpful. We have audio recordings of readings from Science and Health, from miscellaneous writings, and many articles, all by Mary Baker Eddy. We also have audio books written by Martha Wilcox, Peter V. Ross, and Reverend Kratzer. And we have Joseph's Corner, in which you will find readings from the Bible, as well as articles by Mary Baker Eddy and early workers. We begin here each Sunday morning at 10 a.m. with our roundtable discussion, which is a training session in Christian Science for those who are serious about learning who and what God is and what that means for us. And we have a testimony meeting every Wednesday evening at 8:15, where you can hear testimonies of healings and lives changed through the study and practice of Christian Science. And you can listen to all of our services either on our website, on YouTube, or from your telephone via a teleconference number that we provide. And we have a Sunday school for children every Sunday morning at 11 a.m. And that Sunday school is held via teleconference as well, so that if you don't live in the area and your child would like to attend Sunday school, just call us and we'll give you the number, and your child will be very welcome. And for all of our services, we have a nursery available for infants and toddlers, and we love the little children. Let's see, we've been printing. The September full-text lesson booklet has been printed and mailed to subscribers. And for those of you who are wondering about our Bible study classes, we will resume our Bible study classes on Saturday, September 10th. So look for an announcement on our website for that first Bible study class. Everyone is welcome here, and that includes all of you who are listening and participating from around the world. We will now have the reading of a testimony from the chapter entitled Fruitage in Science and Health, which attests to the healing power obtained just by reading the Christian Science textbook. And that reading will be given this morning by Jeffrey from New Jersey.
From Fruitage, a grateful testimony. Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path. This has been proven to me in every way. When Christian Science came to me, I was a wreck, physically, mentally, and financially. But since the reading of Science and Health turned my thought toward the light, I have found that, as far as I am willing to receive the word and live it, all comforts are supplied me. I am especially grateful for the spiritual help. I know that things which I did and thought last year I would not do or think this year, and am satisfied. Through the careful and prayerful study of Science and Health, I have been lifted from sickness to health, from sorrow to peace, and from lack to plenty. And the most beautiful of all, from darkness to light. Mrs. H. S. C., Seattle, Washington.
The lesson sermon for this morning begins on page 14 of the Independent Christian Science Quarterly. Subject, soul. Golden text is from Psalms. Give unto the Lord the glory due unto his name. Worship the Lord in the beauty of holiness. The responsive reading is also from Psalms. Bless the Lord, O my soul, and all that is within me, bless his holy name.
Bless the Lord, O my soul, and forget not all his benefits.
Who forgiveth all thine iniquities, who healeth all thy diseases,
who redeemeth thy life from destruction, who crowneth thee with loving kindness and tender mercies,
who satisfieth thy mouth with good things, so that thy youth is renewed like the eagles.
The Lord executeth righteousness and judgment for all that are oppressed.
Let Mount Zion rejoice. Let the daughters of Judah be glad because of thy judgments.
For this God is our God forever and ever.
Fairly from Maryland will read from the Bible.
The Holy Bible. Psalm. The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. He shall grow like a cedar in Lebanon. Those that be planted in the house of the Lord shall flourish in the courts of our God. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing, to show that the Lord is upright. He is my rock, and there is no unrighteousness in him. Joel. Be glad then, ye children of Zion, and rejoice in the Lord your God. And I will restore to you the years that the locust hath eaten. And ye shall eat in plenty, and be satisfied, and praise the name of the Lord your God, that hath dealt wondrously with you. Isaiah. Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame. For thou shalt not remember the reproach of thy widowhood any more. For thy Maker is thine husband, the Lord of hosts is his name, and thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. The God of the whole earth shall he be called. With great mercies will I gather thee, and all thy children shall be taught of the Lord. In righteousness shalt thou be established. Ruth. A certain man of Bethlehem, Judah, went to sojourn in the country of Moab, he and his wife and his 2 sons. And the name of the man was Elimelech, and the name of his wife, Naomi, and the name of his 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion. And Elimelech Naomi's husband, died, and she was left, and her 2 sons. And they took them wives of the women of Moab. The name of the one was Orpah, and the name of the other, Ruth. And Mahlon and Chilion died also, both of them. And Naomi said unto her 2 daughters-in-law, Go, return each to her mother's house. The Lord deal kindly with you, as ye have dealt with the dead and with me. Orpah kissed her mother-in-law, but Ruth clave unto her. And Ruth said, Entreat me not to leave thee, or to return from following after thee. For whither thou goest, I will go, and where thou lodgest, I will lodge. Thy people shall be my people, and thy God my God. So they 2 went, and it came to pass, when they were come to Bethlehem, that all the city was moved about them, and they said, Is this Naomi? And she said unto them, The Almighty hath dealt very bitterly with me. I went out full, and the Lord hath brought me home again empty. So Naomi returned, and Ruth the Moabitess, her daughter-in-law, with her. And Ruth the Moabitess said unto Naomi, Let me now go to the field and glean ears of corn after him in whose sight I shall find grace. And she said unto her, Go, my daughter. And she went and came and gleaned in the field after the reapers. And her hap was to light on a part of the field belonging unto Boaz. Then said Boaz unto Ruth, Go not to glean in another field, neither go from hence, but abide here fast by my maidens. It hath fully been showed me all that thou hast done unto thy mother-in-law since the death of thine husband, and how thou hast left thy father and thy mother and the land of thy nativity, and art come unto a people which thou knewest not heretofore. So she kept fast by the maidens of Boaz to glean, and dwelt with her mother-in-law. Then Naomi, her mother-in-law, said unto her, My daughter, shall I not seek rest for thee, that it may be well with thee? And now is not Boaz of our kindred, with whose maidens thou wast? And Boaz said, I have bought all that was Elimelech's, and all that was Chilion's and Mahlon's, of the hand of Naomi. So Boaz took Ruth, and she was his wife. And when he went in unto her, the Lord gave her conception, and she bare a son. And the women said unto Naomi, Blessed be the Lord, which hath not left thee this day without a kinsman, that his name may be famous in Israel. And he shall be unto thee a restorer of thy life, and a nourisher of thine old age. For thy daughter-in-law, which loveth thee, which is better to thee than 7 sons, hath borne him. There is a son born to Naomi, and they called his name Obed. He is the father of Jesse, the father of David. Job, prepare thine heart, and stretch out thine hands toward him. For then shalt thou lift up thy face without spot. Yea, thou shalt be steadfast, and shalt not fear. because thou shalt forget thy misery, and remember it as waters that pass away. And thine age shall be clearer than the noonday. Thou shalt shine forth. Thou shalt be as the morning. 2 Corinthians. For God, who commanded the light to shine out of darkness, hath shined in our hearts to give the light of the knowledge of the glory of God in the face of Jesus Christ. Philippians. And the peace of God, which passeth all understanding, shall keep your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus.
Florence from Georgia will now read.
I will read correlative passages from our textbook, Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures, by Mary Baker Eddy. Jesus taught that the kingdom of God is intact, universal, and that man is pure and holy. Man is not a material habitation for soul. He is himself spiritual. Soul, being spirit, is seen in nothing imperfect nor material. Soul is the substance, life, and intelligence of man, which is individualized but not in matter. Soul can never reflect anything inferior to spirit. Man is the expression of soul. The Indians caught some glimpses of the underlying reality when they called a certain beautiful lake the smile of the Great Spirit. Separated from man, who expresses soul, spirit would be an nonentity. Man divorced from spirit would lose his entity. But there can be no such division, for man is coexistent with God. Soul has infinite resources with which to bless mankind, and happiness would be more readily attained and would be more secure in our keeping if sought in soul. Higher enjoyments alone can satisfy the cravings of immortal man. We cannot circumscribe happiness within the limits of personal sense. The senses confer no real enjoyment. In science, man is the offspring of spirit. The beautiful, good, and pure constitute his ancestry. The radiant sun of virtue and truth coexists with being. Manhood is its eternal noon, undimmed by a declining sun. As the physical and material, the transient sense of beauty fades, the radiance of spirit should dawn upon the enraptured sense with bright and imperishable glories. Man governed by immortal mind is always beautiful and grand. Each succeeding year unfolds wisdom, beauty, and holiness. Life is eternal. We should find this out and begin the demonstration thereof. Life and goodness are immortal. Let us then shape our views of existence into loveliness, freshness, and continuity, rather than into age and blight. The beautiful in character is also the good, welding indissolubly the links of affection. The recipe for beauty is to have less illusion and more soul, to retreat from the belief of pain or pleasure in the body into the unchanging calm and glorious freedom of spiritual harmony. Love never loses sight of loveliness. Its halo rests upon its object. One marvels that a friend can ever seem less than beautiful. Spiritual man is the image or idea of God, an idea which cannot be lost nor separated from its divine principle. When the evidence before the material senses yielded to the spiritual sense, the apostle declared that nothing could alienate him from God, from the sweet sense and presence of life and truth. It is ignorance and false belief, based on a material sense of things, which hide spiritual beauty and goodness. Who that has felt the loss of human peace has not gained stronger desires for spiritual joy? The aspiration after heavenly good comes even before we discover what belongs to wisdom and love. The loss of earthly hopes and pleasures brightens the ascending path of many a heart. The pains of sense quickly inform us that the pleasures of sense are mortal and that joy is spiritual. The pains of sense are salutary if they wrench away false pleasurable beliefs and transplant the affections from sense to soul, where the creations of God are good, rejoicing the heart. Such is the sword of science with which truth decapitates error, materially giving place to man's higher individuality and destiny. This is the doctrine of Christian Science, that divine love cannot be deprived of its manifestation or object, that joy cannot be turned into sorrow, for sorrow is not the master of joy, that good can never produce evil, that matter can never produce mind nor life result in death. The perfect man, governed by God, his perfect principle, is sinless and eternal. We must form perfect models in thought and look at them continually, or we shall never carve them out in grand and noble lives. Let unselfishness, goodness, mercy, justice, health, holiness, love, the kingdom of heaven reign within us, and sin, disease, and death will diminish until they finally disappear. Think of this, dear reader, for it will lift the sackcloth from your eyes, and you will behold the soft-winged dove descending upon you. The very circumstance which your suffering sense deems wrathful and afflictive, love can make an angel entertained unawares. Then thought gently whispers, "Come hither, arise from your false consciousness into the true sense of love, and behold the Lamb's wife, love wedded to its own spiritual idea. Then cometh the marriage feast, for this revelation will destroy forever the physical plagues imposed by material sense. When false human beliefs learn even a little of their own falsity, they begin to disappear. and knowledge of error and of its operations must precede that understanding of truth which destroys error, until the entire mortal material error finally disappears, and the eternal verity, man created by and of spirit, is understood and recognized as the true likeness of his Maker. The periods of spiritual ascension are the days and seasons of mind's creation, in which beauty, sublimity, purity, and holiness, yea, the divine nature, appear in man and the universe, never to disappear.
Let's have a moment of silent prayer for our world. Let us sing hymn number 329. The heavens declare the glory of him who made all things. Each day repeats the story. Each night its tribute brings. To earth's remotest border his mighty power is known. In beauty, grandeur, order, his handiwork is shown. Hymn number 329.
they press against my soul. Desperate thoughts have blocked me in. Feels like I may lose control. A voice from somewhere inside of me brings me comfort, fills my heart with courage, and lets me know that everything will be all right. Be still, my soul. I know that He's gone. Stand quietly. He is the Lord. If God is for me, who can be against me? Be still, my soul. He is the Lord. Teach me, Lord, to stay in you when my emotions try to rule me. Remind me, Lord, of who I am. Show me what you want me to be. Strength and confidence, knowing you are with me. But I'm not afraid of tomorrow, what waits ahead. Be still, my soul. I know that He is God. Stand quietly, He is the Lord. If God is for me, who can be against me? Be still, my soul, He is the Lord. Be still, my soul, He is the Lord. He is the Lord. Be still, my soul. He is the Lord. He is the Lord. He is the Lord.
Let's sing hymn number 267. Our God is all in all. His children cannot fear. See baseless evil fall and know that God is here. Hymn number 267.
Our God is all
I will read from the Christian Science textbook, the scientific statement of being, and the correlative passages from 1 John, 3rd chapter. There is no life, truth, intelligence, nor substance in matter. All is infinite mind and its infinite manifestation, for God is all in all. Spirit is immortal truth, matter is mortal error. Spirit is the real and eternal. Matter is the unreal and temporal. Spirit is God, and man is his image and likeness. Therefore man is not material, he is spiritual. Behold, what manner of love the Father hath bestowed upon us, that we should be called the sons of God. Therefore the world knoweth us not, because it knew him not. Beloved, now are we the sons of God, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him. For we shall see him as he is. And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure. Numbers, 6th chapter. The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace.